Hello everyone, this is Clinton from Pocket View. You know, I've been going on how I evaluate properties using the QPE Framework, and I remember my first 20 minutes video explaining it was pretty bad. I give some chance it was my first try, still trying to get the hang of it. And you know what, in today's episode, for the benefit of the new viewers out there, I'm going to repeat what our QPE Framework is all about. So for new peeps watching out there, what exactly is the QPE Framework? You know, every single decision that I make to evaluate whether a property is safe to buy or not depends very much on this framework, and I will split it into 3 episodes for it to be less heavy. It is about finding the right property that fits within the 3 quality, price and exit strategy circle. Now, I come to the realization that if you take any one of them away, you are in trouble. It's like recent Jaden, for example. If I have to be brutally honest, the quality is very good, exit strategy is solid, but price was the only doubtful. Price not from a per square foot perspective, but from an overall entry level point of view. An example, their 2-bed 1-bath sells at $1.8 million when a typical OCR 2-bed 1-bath is about 1.3. And a 2+ study at between 2.1 to 2.2 for an OCR property is just expensive. But for this episode, I will focus extensively on the first circle, and that is quality. The most neglected aspect that consumers tend to miss. People always think that the 2 things that matters in a property purchase is always pricing and timing. Price is definitely important, but let's ask ourselves this question in today's market. Are you able to get a very, very good price? The answer is no, right? So we got to evaluate it based on market rate, which is likely trading at all-time high, and ask ourselves this question: even at this price, can buy or cannot buy? And this thing about timing, is it a good time to buy now? I should wait till the market drops, or my banker told me to wait. This sounds very familiar, right? And you know what such comment means to me? It essentially means that whoever said that is trying to time the market, trying to be smarter than the market. But trust me, who really knows? Definitely not me. Not a single guru out there can correctly predict the market in the shorter term. So why do you want to chase after something that is not within control, and instead focus on what you can control? And that's what you buy. Based on your priorities, whether is it for investment or is it for own use. Notice one thing: good properties tend to appreciate over time, and that is even if you catch it before a bear market. A quick look at this graph before the Lehman Brothers. Even if you buy it before the crash and hold it for a number of years, you're still performing well. Now, if you make the same mistake of buying before the peak again in 2013 and hold it for a certain amount of years, it is still higher than before. But of course, the graph doesn't tell you the full story. Why? Because it is based on the price index, which covers the average price movement in Singapore and doesn't cover the exact properties that you buy, because that's what matters the most, right? And it also means that bad properties tend to stagnate even in bull markets. The CBD properties, unfortunately, are a classic example of how timing the market really doesn't matter if you buy something wrong. Holding for close to 14 years and still losing tons of money, very sad. Now that we have gotten that too constant obsession about pricing and timing out of our stomachs, let's focus on the first circle: quality. And in quality, I like to expand it out to 4 different points. Point number 1 being the most important aspect: land size, facilities, and facade. As the words suggest, land size, whether it's big or small, well, to put it simply, the larger the land size, the more you can build facilities and landscapes, right? The lesser it is, the more likely the common space will be found on sky terraces or even roof terraces, so on and so forth. This is one point that I notice people neglect a lot. An example of good land size, facilities, and facades for new developments in recent times are like Normanton Park, Park Clementis, Park Esta, Jadescape, Leiden Green, and Seaside Residences, to name a few. Older resale properties in the east like Waterside, Sorvin, or even the northern side Bullion Park, or the prime areas of Orchard in Ardmore Park, clearly illustrates this very point. Another classic example in Newton, where most projects remains unprofitable after an extended period of time, and at one corner, you have park infinia that bucks the trend. You see what I mean? That one in recent times are probably like 38 Jervois, 26 Newton, RV altitude, and to a certain extent Atelier at Newton. So why is this important? Let me first jump to the second point and you will realize how it all adds up. Second point to me that is very important is layout. Layout is like the soul of the property. I call this first impressions. You get very weird layouts, you just give people excuses not to pay a premium. Here's a couple of examples of weird and funky layouts. And these are pretty good layouts in my personal opinion. I know layouts are very subjective, but I try to see it from a maturity standpoint because although we can't satisfy everyone, we should pay careful attention of the majority. Okay, so back to point number 1 about land size, facilities and facades. Now, when you guys search for a property online, what do you usually do? Search based on budget, probably click on the ad because of the beautiful pictures and then look at the layout to see if it's suitable, right? If the layout is weird, you'll probably not even reach out to the agent, but if the designs are good, you'll likely arrange a viewing to visit, isn't it? So fast forward to the house visit, you really like the home and all, what's the instinctive next thing you will do? Ask your agents to bring you down to the facilities and grounds for a walk, isn't it? Now, if layouts are the first impressions, then facilities are the second impression. Imagine you have growing kids and realize that certain apartments are built too small, you will quickly realize that it is not suitable for your needs. That is the common problem right there. You get a good property with good facilities, so on and so forth, the development will sell on its own. The feel-good factor must be there, and that is what is the most important 2 points of quality. That is land size, facilities, facade, and layout. Third point of quality is location, MRT, and amenities. Oh yeah, people always say it's all about location, location, location. Well, I personally think that from an investment point of view, location is important to have, but can be extremely overrated. Why? I tell you why. Are integrated developments where you have everything at doorstep located on good locations? Of course, you got everything, but does it necessarily mean it makes more money as compared to those that are much more inaccessible? Not really. Just look at the profitability charts of Park Colonial and Woodlake residences. It is self-explaining. So to understand why is that happening, the QPE framework answers that to the point. Unless you are getting something for own use and that certain location is more important to you than others, then location is not everything. Just like how the amazing locality of the CBD projects are not performing well even when the prices are low. Last point of quality, views. Everyone likes view, right? It's like point 3 of location. Good to have, but might not necessarily means anything unless the view forms the priority consideration for your property purchase. Like those in the East Coast with the sea facing or Tanjung Rhu with bay facing. Otherwise, there's always, of course, a premium for better views and discount for lesser views. We agents can only guide you from an investment point of view, but cannot tell you what is right or what is wrong for you personally. Everyone's needs and requirements are very different, so if it's from an investment point of view and if the price gap is huge for a bad facing versus a good facing, then we can tell you which one might work out better from a financial point of view. Like the J-Scape reference I made in my previous video, a ground floor unit with a poor view went for about $1.35 million, while the top floor with a panoramic view setting back close to 1.66. Eventually, the one with a lesser view sold off at $1.75 million at 400k profits, while the higher floor ones made only 320k profits even when they sold at a record price of $1.975 million. What does this tell you? View is good to have if the premium isn't too much, but if the difference is substantial, then the value can be with the bad facing with a lower standard of living. All you need to do is just understand your priorities right from the get-go. So that's it, we are done with the first circle of quality. To sum it up, land size, facilities, facade and layouts are 2 very important aspects to look at, and that location and views are always good to have, but not deal breakers unless there isn't a premium paid, which usually there is. So ultimately, small projects tend to fail because of the above reasons. It is not just about, oh, small developments got no transaction volumes to support. It is really about the emotional sense of feeling good when you walk around the development that can cannot be underestimated. And with that, unless price is wrong, find me one big development that doesn't make money. With that, I will see you guys in our next video where I'll be talking about the next circle, exit strategy.